Hi guys, so in this video, I want to talk about passing to the outside of the guard. In our last video, we talked about passing inside the guard, maybe with like a staple or a knee cut. And now today, what I want to look at is going to the outside. And so the first example, guys, I want to talk about is the Torreando pass or the bullfighter pass. If you guys look, as I just move around the guard player, of course, she's going to use her feet to follow me and stop me from getting around her legs. So the Torreando, the basic idea here is that I'm using my hands to control her feet or her legs to stop her from making contact with my body as I use my footwork to move around the guard. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to be steering her body so that I can start to bring her head to me so that I can start establishing a pass. So all we're going to do when I'm controlling the legs, if I'm moving to this side, to my left side here, my right hand is going to be driving her leg away while my left hand will be stuffing her leg underneath my armpit, okay? It's just going to look a little bit like this. Okay. Now, once we've cleared the legs like this, of course, the guard player is going to always try to keep their knees nice and tight to the chest. So all I'm going to look to do here is I'm basically just going to stiff arm the knees towards the mat away from me as I just start to lower my chest on top of her, establishing a pass. So to establish my pass, of course, as soon as I let go of her leg, she's going to start bridging and moving and trying to recover her guard. So the first thing I want to do here, guys, I know that if I'm on this side, she's going to try to bring this knee inside. So the first thing I'm going to look to do here is I'm going to check her hip. So now if she tries to turn in to face me, my bicep is blocking her. And now with my left hand, immediately I'm just going to go to the outside of her body. And the reason for this is because when I let go of her legs, when she goes to bring her knee inside, she's also going to move her hip away from me. Do you want to demonstrate that, please? Like that, exactly. And so that's going to give her more room to get the knee inside. So as I drop my weight on her and she goes to hip out, I'm blocking her hip so that she has nowhere to go. Now I can start to sprawl my weight on top of her and be nice and heavy and wait for the referee to give me my points. After I've scored, if I'd like, I could stay here, or I can replace my hand with my knee, and I can find my underhook and my crossface to establish, your standard side mount position. Again, sometimes, this is really important to understand too, sometimes the guard player is going to have she's going to keep her knees to her chest nice and tight and be super connected in the example we just went over. But sometimes too, the guard player will be a little bit looser with the legs. And in this case, sometimes I won't be able to spin her as much, but more keep her legs in control while I find a dominant angle with my footwork and start to bring my knee inside. That'll look something like this. Okay, usually when I can open up the connection from her knee and elbow here, it's going to be a great opportunity for me to just to insert my knee and establish the pass. If she's staying tight, it's hard for me to do that. And that's why we're going all the way to the north-south and just driving the legs away. Now, a common defense to this situation, she knows that I'm wanting to go around the legs, get to the outside of her feet, is that the guard player will actually take a very wide posture with the legs. Okay, now this makes it really hard to get around the legs, but it creates an opening for me to now start to underhook her legs. So I'm just going to go from the pant grips to scooping underneath her thighs and connecting my hands together as I drop to my knees. Now from here, what I want to do is I want to lift her hips up off the floor. Okay, they're just resting on top of my lap here. And the reason for this is because now she's not connected to the floor and it's going to be very hard for her to have any sort of mobility. My hands are keeping nice and close to my chest. My head stays low and my knees are going to start to come off the ground here. As I start to circle, I'm just looking for a dominant angle where I can drive her legs away from me. As I circle around, keeping all the weight on her, my knees off the floor, you'll see my hands just shift towards the pocket to kind of push the legs out of the way like this. Okay, now, just like the last pass, I want to make sure that she's not going to recover the guard when I disconnect the hands. So immediately, my left hand is going to go to check the hip. So when she starts trying to recover the guard, my hand is blocking the knee. Try to recover the guard, please. My hand is blocking. And my elbow on the other side is making it so that she has nowhere to go with her hip escape. So I'm just trying to box her body here. Again, I'm gonna keep my weight on her. I'm gonna keep moving with her as she's trying to recover. When she settles down and the referee gives me my points, this is when I'm gonna start trying to progress from more of a north-south position to a side control position if that's what I'd like to do. And again, same steps. My hand that's checking the hip is gonna be replaced by my knee. And my hand that came off the mat is gonna start looking for my underhook while the other hand is going to the crossface. And now again, we can just establish nice tight chest to chest, crossface, underhook, side control.